The internet is in absolute shock after new footage of 6ix9ine. It surfaced just hours before his girlfriend's tragic murder. What looked like a regular night out has now turned into a chilling mystery that's shaking the hip-hop world to its core. Cameras captured 6ix9ine in acting strangely paranoid, agitated and constantly looking over his shoulder as if he knew something was about to happen. Fans can't stop dissecting every frame of that footage, wondering if 6ix9ine somehow sensed danger closing in, or worse, if he had any connection to what followed that night. The newly leaked clip shows him arguing on the phone, pacing back and forth outside a Miami club, before suddenly hanging up and storming off toward a waiting car. Just a few hours later, reports confirmed his girlfriend was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Now, everyone's asking, who was he talking to? And why does the timeline match up so perfectly with her final moments? Was this just an eerie coincidence, or a deadly setup that 6ix9ine couldn't escape? As investigators dig deeper, more questions keep emerging about his enemies, his past betrayals, and the long list of people who might want to see him destroyed. This isn't just another celebrity scandal, it's a dark, twisted story that could change everything we thought we knew about. 6ix9ine. The night began like any other for 6ix9ine. The neon lights of Miami painted the streets in vibrant colors as he stepped out of the club, surrounded by flashing cameras, loud fans, and the usual chaos that followed him wherever he went. But there was something different about him that night, something restless in his eyes. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't flaunting his jewelry or shouting into the camera like he normally would. He looked tense, distracted, and deeply uneasy. Witnesses later described how he kept checking his phone, muttering to himself and pacing up and down the sidewalk. At one point, he even shoved away a fan who tried to take a selfie. That wasn't like 6ix9ine, for someone who thrived on attention. This sudden shift in energy had people wondering what was really going on. Inside the club earlier that evening, people said there had been a heated argument between 6ix9ine and his girlfriend, whose name was later revealed in reports but kept out of the official police statement. They were seen sitting in a corner booth, voices raised, with her trying to calm him down as he slammed his drink on the table. A friend who was with them said it looked like 6ix9ine had received some kind of threatening message, a text or a call that completely changed his mood. Within minutes, he told everyone he was leaving. What no one could have predicted was how those few hours after that moment would alter everything. Surveillance footage from outside the club, which later went viral online, shows 6ix9ine in stepping into a black SUV. His girlfriend didn't follow him immediately. She stayed behind with two friends, appearing visibly upset. One of them tried to hug her before she eventually walked out around 20 minutes later, calling for a ride. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. Police reports indicate she was found dead in her apartment just after 3 a.m. The scene, according to sources close to the investigation, was disturbing. No signs of forced entry. No struggle that could be immediately identified. Her phone was missing, and neighbors claimed they heard loud music playing hours before. But no one thought to check. When news broke the next morning, the internet erupted. Thousands of comments flooded social media, pointing fingers, speculating, and demanding answers. Some fans were heartbroken. Others accused 6ix9ine indirectly, connecting the dots between his erratic behavior that night and her sudden death. And then came the video, the same one investigators would later confirm was recorded only 2 hours before her murder. In the video, 6ix9ine is pacing outside the club, phone pressed to his ear, shouting at someone. His words are muffled by traffic noise, but a few lines can be made out. "You think I don't know what you did? And you're not safe." He hangs up, turns toward the camera briefly, and gets into the car, slamming the door. The look on his face isn't just anger, it's fear. That brief moment sparked chaos online. Was he talking to his girlfriend? Or was someone threatening him? The timing made everything worse, because according to phone records later leaked, his girlfriend had tried calling him 3 times that same night, right around the time he made that angry call. None of her calls were answered. Friends close to 6ix9ine described the relationship as complicated, passionate, but volatile. They had broken up multiple times in the past year, with arguments often spilling onto social media. Still, those who knew them both said they always seemed to find their way back to each other. But this time felt different. This time, something much darker was at play. After the footage surfaced, detectives questioned 6ix9ine in for nearly 6 hours. He maintained his innocence, insisting that he had nothing to do with her death and that the call that night had been about something unrelated. Yet he refused to name the person on the other end of the line. That silence made things worse for him. The public didn't buy it. Every headline painted him as guilty before the facts even came out. Online sleuths began digging through his recent interviews, posts, and music videos, trying to find hidden clues. They pointed out lyrics that suddenly seemed ominous, references to betrayal, revenge, and trust. Even his recent Instagram live session, where he said, "Everyone's gonna pay for what they did," took on a sinister meaning after the tragedy as the story continued to unfold. Police confirmed that there was no immediate evidence tying him directly to the crime, but they didn't clear him either. He was officially labeled a person of interest, which only fueled the speculation. In the following days, new details emerged that painted an even stranger picture. His security team reportedly quit just days before the incident, claiming they felt uncomfortable with the kind of threats 6ix9ine had been receiving. One insider said that he believed he was being watched and that something bad was coming. At the same time, detectives discovered a mysterious number in his girlfriend's phone records. Number traced to a prepaid cell that had been activated only 3 days before her death and deactivated right after. That burner phone became the center of the investigation. Whoever it belonged to could hold the key to understanding what happened that night. Meanwhile, 6ix9ine's behavior grew even more unpredictable. He stopped posting on social media altogether, canceled public appearances, and was spotted leaving his Miami home wearing a hood, surrounded by 2 men who weren't part of his usual circle. People began to suspect he was running from something or someone. A week after the tragedy, a new clip surfaced online, reportedly leaked from a nearby street camera. It showed his SUV stopping at an alleyway just blocks away from his girlfriend's apartment. Around 2:40 a.m., roughly 20 minutes before she was pronounced dead, 6ix9ine's lawyer immediately claimed the footage was fake or taken out of context. But that didn't stop the internet from exploding with theories. Was he there to warn her? To confront her? Or was he following someone else entirely? Whatever the truth, it was clear that something major was being hidden. Fans who once cheered him for his wild energy now found themselves questioning everything about him. The line between victim and suspect was blurring fast as the world demanded answers. Police promised that the investigation was actively ongoing, hinting that there were things they couldn't yet release to the public. But behind the scenes, sources claimed that private investigators hired by the victim's family had found something shocking, something from that night that could completely flip the narrative. And according to them, it all connected back to that footage. The look in his eyes, the call, the SUV, and the silence that followed. The question wasn't just whether 6ix9ine was innocent. The real question was, what did he know? And why hadn't he said it yet? Part 2 continues as the investigation takes a darker turn and the footage everyone thought they understood begins revealing secrets that no one saw coming. As investigators pieced together the timeline, they realized the case was far more complex than it first appeared. The new footage that surfaced wasn't the only one. There were multiple clips, captured from different angles, each showing 6ix9ine in separate locations across Miami on the same night. The footage from the club's security camera was only the beginning. Another camera from a gas station, located 2 miles away, showed 6ix9ine's black SUV pulling in just before 2 a.m. He stepped out, wearing the same clothes seen earlier, a bright red hoodie and a diamond chain, but this time, he wasn't alone. The video revealed 2 unidentified men stepping out of the back seat. They looked tense, constantly checking their surroundings. One of them appeared to hand something to 6ix9ine in something small, metallic, and glinting under the harsh lights. The clip only lasted 20 seconds, but that was enough to send social media into overdrive. Viewers slowed it down, zoomed in, and speculated endlessly about what he was given. Some believed it was a phone. Others insisted it was a weapon. Detectives immediately requested the original copy, and what they discovered changed the direction of the entire investigation. The object wasn't a gun, it was a USB drive. What was on that drive, however, remains one of the case's deepest mysteries. 2 days later, law enforcement sources leaked that digital forensics teams had retrieved data from a confiscated drive linked to 6ix9ine's vehicle. Inside were encrypted files and multiple short videos labeled only by timestamps, including one that matched the exact time his girlfriend was murdered. Authorities never disclosed the footage publicly, but insiders described what they saw as disturbing. The video reportedly showed a woman, believed to be 6ix9ine's girlfriend, arguing with someone off camera. Her voice was panicked, shouting phrases like, "I didn't tell anyone and you promised it was over." Then, the sound of something crashing. The clip ended abruptly after 15 seconds. Once that detail leaked, the internet exploded with accusations. Fans who had once defended 6ix9ine now turned on him, accusing him of hiding evidence. Conspiracy theories began circulating about what the files really showed. Some claimed it was proof that 6ix9ine had been blackmailed. Others said it confirmed his involvement. The truth at that point was buried beneath layers of speculation and fear. Detectives, meanwhile, were working on another lead, the mysterious burner phone. Using cell tower data, they traced the signal from that number to several locations that night, and shockingly, one of them was the same gas station where 6ix9ine's SUV was spotted. This raised one critical question. Was the person on that phone meeting with him or following him? The deeper they dug, the more tangled the story became. 6ix9ine, now under constant police watch, was reportedly losing his grip. Insiders said he hadn't been sleeping, that he'd become paranoid about his phones being tapped. When questioned again, he claimed he didn't remember seeing the USB drive at all and suggested someone planted it in his car. But investigators weren't convinced. Behind the scenes, rumors spread that there was another person involved, someone close to both 6ix9ine and his girlfriend, a mutual friend who had been with them earlier that night but had since vanished. Detectives identified him as a local promoter known for working with 6ix9ine's team. Within days, police launched a manhunt to locate him, describing him as a key witness. When he was finally found in a motel outside Orlando, the story took another shocking turn. The promoter admitted he had been with 6ix9ine that night. But his version of events painted a very different picture. He claimed 6ix9ine was terrified, not angry, that he believed someone was threatening to harm his girlfriend as revenge for his testimony in previous cases. According to the promoter, 6ix9ine said something that stuck with him. "They're not after me this time. They're going for her." This revelation shifted everything. Suddenly, 6ix9ine wasn't just a suspect, he might have been a target himself. The idea that his girlfriend was killed as a message began spreading fast. And the internet's narrative shifted once again. Still, the footage of his argument outside the club remained damning. The call, the pacing, the fear, it all seemed to suggest he knew something was coming. But if he wasn't directly responsible, then who was behind it? And why did they want him to suffer? Detectives followed the trail of the burner phone, eventually linking it to a prepaid card purchased in cash at a corner store in New York, 6ix9ine's hometown. Surveillance footage from that store showed a man wearing a hood and face mask. But a distinctive tattoo on his neck gave investigators their first real lead. It matched the description of a known associate of one of 6ix9ine's former rivals. By now, the story had become national news. Every major outlet was covering it. Everyone wanted to know if this was an act of revenge, a consequence of 6ix9ine's past betrayals in the industry, the rapper's history with gangs, the federal case. And his reputation as a snitch made the theory all too believable, as investigators closed in on their new suspect. Another strange event occurred. An anonymous email was sent to the Miami Police Department. The sender claimed to have proof that 6ix9ine wasn't behind the murder, and attached an image from an unreleased video file. The image showed the inside of an apartment with a shadowed figure standing by the window, wearing a hoodie identical to the one 6ix9ine had on that night. But the timestamp didn't match. It was from 30 minutes before the rapper was seen on camera miles away at the gas station. That image changed everything. If genuine, it meant someone was deliberately impersonating him. Someone wanted him to take the fall. 6ix9ine's legal team immediately seized on the new evidence, demanding investigators verify the footage. Forensic analysts confirmed the metadata matched the original time of the crime, and the figures' build and height were close, but not an exact match. Whoever staged that scene had gone to great lengths to make it look real. The possibility that 6ix9ine was being framed reignited massive debate online. Some fans insisted he was innocent all along, while others believed it was part of a larger cover-up. But what everyone could agree on was this: someone out there was playing a dangerous game. Meanwhile, 6ix9ine remained silent. He hadn't spoken publicly since the tragedy, but those close to him claimed he was obsessed with finding out who did it. He spent hours watching the leaked footage, trying to recall every detail of that night. People who visited him said he looked broken, not defiant, not angry, just hollow. Then, nearly 2 weeks after the murder, investigators received another tip, one that led them straight to an abandoned apartment in downtown Miami. Inside, he found discarded electronics, fragments of a security system, and a charred phone. But among the debris was something else, a damaged laptop with traces of video editing software. On the hard drive were remnants of the same footage that had gone viral online. Someone had spliced together clips to manipulate the timeline. Whoever did this wasn't just trying to hide evidence. They were rewriting the story as the investigation intensified. Detectives began to suspect a larger conspiracy, one that might involve people from inside 6ix9ine's own circle. His girlfriend's death, the leaked footage, the staged recordings, it all seemed too coordinated to be random. The case that began with one shocking video was now spiraling into something much bigger. And as police closed in on their next lead, whispers spread that the most explosive discovery was still to come, one that would expose the real reason behind her murder and reveal who had been pulling the strings all along. The truth was finally coming into focus. But it was far darker than anyone expected. Part 3 reveals how the final piece of footage turned everything upside down and why the person everyone thought was innocent might not have been. After all, days passed as the investigation reached its breaking point. What started as a tragedy had now become a twisted puzzle that no one could fully piece together. The Miami Police Department finally held a press conference, confirming they had new evidence that could determine what really happened the night. 6ix9ine's girlfriend was killed, but behind closed doors, the truth was messier than anyone could imagine. The burned laptop recovered from the downtown apartment contained fragments of deleted footage, but digital forensics teams managed to restore enough to make out what was really going on. In one of the recovered clips, 2 men could be seen inside what appeared to be the victim's apartment just hours before her death. They were wearing gloves and masks, and one of them seemed to be installing a small hidden camera. The timestamp, exactly 1 hour before 6ix9ine's SUV was recorded at the alley near the same building. It was clear now that someone had been setting him up from the beginning. The security footage that had gone viral wasn't raw, it had been edited and rearranged to fit a narrative. But what investigators couldn't yet figure out was who had access to the original files. That question led them straight to a shocking revelation. One of the 2 men in the apartment footage matched the build and tattoos of the same promoter who had earlier claimed to be helping 6ix9ine that night. Detectives brought him back in for questioning, and this time his story completely unraveled. He confessed that he'd been contacted weeks before the murder by an unknown person who offered him money to keep tabs on 6ix9ine and record his movements. That person, he said, wanted to make it look like 6ix9ine was behind something he didn't do. When pressed for a name, the promoter hesitated before finally admitting who it was. The name stunned investigators. It was someone from 6ix9ine's own team. The revelation tore the case wide open. According to the promoter, the man behind the setup was a former associate who had worked closely with 6ix9ine during his early career, someone he'd cut off after accusing him of stealing money and leaking private details about his life. That betrayal had caused bad blood for years. And now it appeared that revenge had finally taken form. Detectives obtained a warrant and raided the suspect's home. What they found left no doubt. Hard drives, external disks, and several fake IDs were discovered, along with unedited versions of the same footage that had gone viral online. There were folders labeled with dates, names, and even the phrase "final cut." One video file stood out. It was a complete recording of the night of the murder, captured from multiple angles. It showed 6ix9ine leaving the club, driving to the gas station, and eventually arriving near the victim's apartment. But the crucial moment that had been missing from the earlier leaks was finally there, and it changed everything. The video revealed that 6ix9ine never entered the apartment. He pulled up near the alley, stepped out of the car, and waited by the sidewalk, making a phone call. Then, within minutes, two other men were seen exiting the building, running toward a nearby car, and speeding off. Seconds later, 6ix9ine looked up toward the window of his girlfriend's apartment and froze. He didn't move for nearly a minute before getting back into the SUV and driving away. That was the moment investigators realized he had likely witnessed something, not caused it. The timing, the body language, and the untouched evidence in the apartment all pointed to one conclusion. 6ix9ine wasn't the killer. He was the intended target of a much larger plot. The ex-associate who had engineered the setup was arrested within hours. During interrogation, he confessed to orchestrating everything from hiring people to follow 6ix9ine, to planting edited videos online, to creating fake burner accounts to spread the rumors. His goal was simple: to destroy 6ix9ine's reputation and make him suffer the same public humiliation he believed he'd once caused others. But what no one expected was that the plan would spiral out of control. According to the confession, the men sent to scare 6ix9ine's girlfriend weren't supposed to kill her. Things got out of hand, and when she tried to call for help, they panicked and fled. The mastermind then used the chaos to frame 6ix9ine, leaking manipulated footage to social media within hours. He wanted the world to believe the rapper had finally faced his downfall when news of the arrest broke. Public reaction was explosive. The internet, which had spent weeks condemning 6ix9ine, suddenly turned sympathetic. People demanded apologies. Fans flooded his social media with messages of support, while others questioned how easily everyone had believed the worst without waiting for facts. Still, for 6ix9ine, vindication didn't erase the loss. In the days that followed, sources close to him said he was emotionally broken, barely speaking to anyone. He had lost the person who stood by him when the world turned against him, and no amount of truth could bring her back. When he finally made his first public appearance weeks later, it wasn't loud or boastful like his past persona. He appeared visibly shaken, wearing a black hoodie and avoiding eye contact with cameras. In a short statement, he said, "I was set up, but I lost someone who didn't deserve this. No one wins in this." Investigators confirmed the ex-associate was charged with multiple counts, including conspiracy, evidence tampering, and second-degree murder. The two hired men were also caught after their fingerprints were matched to the apartment scene. Prosecutors announced that they had enough evidence to prove the entire operation was deliberate. A long-planned revenge scheme meant to destroy a career and a life. Yet, even with the truth revealed, the internet couldn't stop analyzing every frame of the leaked videos. Some fans noticed strange details, like how one of the cameras used to film 6ix9ine that night had been positioned across from a known paparazzi hotspot. Others pointed out that someone had to have access to high-level editing tools to manipulate the footage so perfectly. It wasn't just a setup. It was a professional job, done by someone who knew exactly how the media would react. That realization left one lingering question. Was the ex-associate really working alone? Or was someone else backing him? Even months later, that question remains unanswered. Rumors continue to swirl about deeper connections, industry rivalries, and powerful people who might have wanted 6ix9ine silenced for good. But what's certain is that the new footage didn't just clear his name. It exposed a world of manipulation and deceit behind the scenes of fame. In the end, justice was only partial. The truth came too late to save the one person who paid the ultimate price. For 6ix9ine, every frame of that night remains burned into his memory. A reminder that even when the cameras stop rolling, the danger never really disappears. The new footage didn't just change everything about the case, it changed everything about him. If this story shocked you, wait until you see what investigators uncovered next. Hidden files, unreleased footage, and connections to some of the most powerful names in the industry are starting to come to light. And they could expose even more dark secrets behind 6ix9ine's downfall.